Well, hello there. This is Rob, also known as Angry Bob or MacGuy9. I'm doing something a little different today. I don't normally do these sorts of videos. Most of my gameplay stuff is stuff that I just capture during Arma or other stuff. It's kind of organic, and whatever happens, happens. Nothing like a Let's Play. So today, that's what we're doing. The game, as you can see, is Cities Skylines. It is a kick-ass city simulator game. This game, I've been looking for something like this for a long time. SimCity came out a while ago, and to say it was did not meet expectations was a mild understatement. I mean, you had some issues like, I don't know, having to be connected to the internet all the time, or, you know, it not working for weeks after it was launched. You know, small things. They kind of detracted from it being what you would call an optimal user experience. So, and plus it was all kind of closed up and locked off. And one of the things I loved about SimCity 4 was the ability for users to create mods from the community and update that stuff, and that seems to have disappeared with the new SimCity. So in Skylines, I was very happy to see right at the front page, Steam Workshop, you can build your own stuff and you can load it right into your game whenever you want. So that's awesome, and that's the kind of stuff that we're going to be doing here, is creating our own stuff, and we'll start with the town and we'll go from there. But just so you know, I have the music turned off on this. I'm running at maximum options for everything. I've got a fairly reasonably powerful rig, a pair of 680s in SLI, 16 gigs of RAM, and OS on an SSD, and this is on a 3 terabyte SATA 3 drive. So everything's cool. It's all good to go. Some of the stuff that you can do in the content manager, aside from monitoring and taking care of all your save games and your maps that you download, as well as stuff from the Steam Workshop, you can turn on certain mods. For example, if you want to learn the game, unlimited money, unlock all progressions, lets you experiment with things to your heart's content. You can figure out how things work, and it doesn't cost you anything. So you can create an experimentation city and just mess around with it to your heart's content and figure out how on-ramps work, or how zoning works, or the growth process, or whatever. And it doesn't impact your main city, and when you're done, you turn it off and go back to your main city and good to go. Some mods I would recommend if you're going to buy this game, and I would suggest if you like city simulators, this is a good one for you. Some options that you should look at: automatic bulldoze, because this will become a major thorn in your side when things get abandoned or burnt down or whatever, and you have to go picking through to destroy the one building in 500 that's burnt down or abandoned. They do come with little dots above them, or zots as they used to be called in the old SimCity, indicating there's a problem. But when you experience an economic downturn and suddenly there's hundreds of these things, you got to keep clicking them to destroy them because they're bringing down the value of the properties around you, and suddenly it's like cockroaches. They spread and other properties near them start to become abandoned. It's a pain. You're constantly deleting them and you're not paying attention to other stuff. So I would suggest you bring this mod in, turn it on. It gets rid of those things automatically for you, which is fantastic. I've also enabled the tree brush. It lets you, like in the old SimCity, you can paint trees when eventually you get the parks mod, the parks perk open. You can then paint trees instead of placing them one by one, if that's what you want to do. And also, I've disabled the film grain effect. I'm not a huge fan of it. I don't know why they put it in here, but whatever. Artistic license, it's their game. But again, one of the benefits of having user community mods, you can turn it off whenever you want. Awesome. So, without further ado, that's enough blabbering from me. Let's go. So we're presented with a few options. Left-hand traffic is an option. Blue means it's selected. We don't want left-hand traffic because I live in North America, where we drive on the right side of the road, or as I'd like to say, the correct side of the road. My apologies to all of my British relatives and people over in Europe. Your options here, it shows you your natural resources, which we'll get into a little later in the game, your water availability, as well as your connections, and the suitable area for building. This is kind of important because if you go to certain areas, you're going to see that drops substantially Like, whoa, 27%. So you're working with a limited area here. Other areas like North Vancouver, 39%, Seattle, 62%. Just because I kind of like it, I think we're going to go with, let's see here. Let's go with River Run. That's a good one. So, some basic premises of the game. You have to build everything off of a road. So, any structures you want have to be connected to a roadway. There are multiple options for roadways, multi-directional, one-way, highways, boulevards, that sort of thing. You can create pedestrian-only pathways that will allow people to walk between neighborhoods, catch buses and whatnot. Transit of varying flavors. And all sorts of other things. We're going to turn off this option here because we don't really need any kind of tooltip stuff. I've already experimented with stuff. A couple of things to start with here. You'll notice the water's flowing. The water physics in this game, I know this is going to sound like a really stupid and nerdy thing to be excited about, but they are amazing. The water flows like real water. So you will eventually have the option to create something, a hydroelectric dam, which if you live in an area with a river and you've seen one, they're a really simple concept. The dam stretches across here, you block up the water, it flows through turbines, generates electricity. Boom. When you're building the dam, it initially floods a little bit and then releases the water. If you have an increase in water flow, which we haven't seen yet, but it is possible to do, maybe they're going to implement that with weather, later update or something, it can flood. The water can actually flow up and over and into your town and cause damage and destroy property. So, like right here, this little, it may seem insignificant, but this slope may save your town. If you build it up here and you don't have people down here and the bridge goes across, the river may flood and only get up to here and not destroy the rest of your town. So that's kind of cool. You have to plan. And you'll notice here, oh, hang on a second. We've got to do something first. Here's one more tip. In order to activate other things, you have to build your first road. So we just do this, and then we get rid of it. And that opens up the other stuff for you to use, which we'll do right now. But you look at the water, and the way it's flowing. If you hit this icon here, it shows you this, which shows not only the direction, but the velocity. The larger the arrows, the faster the water's moving. So you move up here, you see there's a slow stream flow through here, then heavy, and then as the river widens, it gets slower, which is just like in real life. And as it gets out into the bay, it's even slower. And we move up here, and we can see that the river's flowing through at varying rates, depending on the width of your banks and everything. So, it is entirely possible to find an area of the river, put a turbine across here, and make enough power to power your entire city if it's a narrow enough river with a high enough stream flow. So the water generators are somewhere way up there, I don't know, and they are constantly supplying fresh water to the city. So you don't ever run out. Another thing to keep in mind, water does flow, so if you put your water pump here, and you put your, as I like to call it, poo pump here, or your wastewater pump, everything's going to be cool. If you put your intake here and your poo pump up here, you're going to have a bad time, because people are going to be drinking poo water, and they will probably find you and murder you in your sleep, which kind of counterproductive as far as the whole simulation thing goes. So keep these things in mind. Everything has to have electricity, everything has to have water, everything has to be connected to a road. That includes parks. If you want to build your own freeform parks, can't happen right now. You can put trees in and you can create, quote, parks, unquote, but they basically have no effect on the environment. So, let's start. I should indicate that I did play on this map before when I was experimenting, and if you do end up choosing this map, if you buy the game and play it, starting over here is not a great idea. you limit yourself so much, and you end up having to build bridges across the river at some point, and it just ends up being a nightmarish mess. So let's start up this way. And our first thing that we're going to do, oh yes, sorry, zoom with a scroll wheel, click and hold to rotate the camera, click and hold the scroll wheel. When you place an item down, right click and hold, and you can rotate the direction that it faces. Okay, so let's start. We need water, so we're going to make the aforementioned pumping station. We're going to say, hey, fresh water please, and we're going to say, hey, not so fresh water please. So there's your poo pipe, there's your freshwater pipe. We're going to connect them like so. They are now connected to each other, and we can eventually connect them to the rest of the world. And we will take a wind turbine, and this is one of the mods that I downloaded. It is basically the same as the regular wind turbine, but doubles the power output and has pretty colors. So, and you'll see the orange circle around the turbine there. That indicates the noise area. So people who live in there are not going to be very happy. They're going to be complaining about the noise all the time, and you will never ever make them happy. So try to keep these things away from people if you can. But we're going to put it here, because if we can limit the amount of distance that we have to travel with power lines, then it means we limit the amount of money we have to spend. Now this blue circle indicates where the power is effective. So because we have that small area, this wind turbine only generates in there. And when we drag these power lines to the other blue area, which is the effective power area of this particular unit, you'll see it lights up. Now we got electricity there. So we have water, we have electricity, albeit small quantities of. So now we're going to start with actually building the town. And our town's name is Springfield. And no, it's not that Springfield, because there's no people with yellow spiky hair or eating donuts, although donuts are pretty awesome, I'm not going to lie. I would suggest our first order of business is getting this freeway connected. Now, when you drag roads, if they're one way, the direction you drag is the direction the roads go. So this one-way road travels this way, and by doing this, oh, not there. That one-way road travels the opposite. Important to remember when you're laying down roads, as I've discovered much to my pain and dismay, if you're putting down roads and you're not paying attention that you're putting in one-way roads, and you start putting them all higgledy-piggledy without paying attention to how you're drawing them, then they will yeah, they'll not work, and your garbage trucks won't go anywhere, and your ambulances and people will die, and there'll be riots, and it'll be just suboptimal. So try to avoid using one-way roads if you're not paying attention. You have to be on your A game. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention too. Here's the world map right here. Boom, click that. This is where we are. Eventually, we can extend in 9 tiles total in any direction. So I can do 3 this way, 2 this way, 1 this way, 1 this way, whatever. Any combination of 9 in any direction you want. So we can't see all of it now, but eventually we're going to be able to expand well beyond this area. So it is huge. It's much bigger than in SimCity. So we've got our roads. I think what we should do is we'll start small. We're going to have Main Street. It's going to be a simple... We don't want to build too small though. These are expensive, but eventually this is going to pay dividends when we are trying to expand later. We will not have to worry about traffic congestion as much if we have these roads, the 6-lane road. So we're going to put this down here. And this will provide the backbone for people to get in and out of the city. So we'll start with some basic stuff. Let's do some residential areas. And it would be my suggestion to avoid, if possible, having T-intersections, or sorry, not T-intersections, having 4 ways off of these roads. So if you're going to do a road, coming in. Oh yes, here we go. Straight roads, curved roads, freeform, and that's upgrade. We'll come to upgrade later. But if you come in with a freeform road and you curve it slightly, I would suggest perhaps this is about... You know what? I already regret my decision. We're going to pull this back a bit. And we're going to go like this. Because it is going to be far too close. Oh my god, I'm an idiot. It's going to be far too close to that intersection. So we'll take this. And already I'm messing it up. See, this is what I'm talking about. You have to be paying attention. So we'll come down here, and again, we'll come up a little bit. We'll curve it. Some more. Come down to, say, here. Take a little bit of this off. I wish there was an alternate button for deleting stuff. And now there's a connection there, okay? And that's probably the most we want to have for up there. And then we're going to take another section down here. We'll call this our commercial zone. And our first residential zone is going to be just like every other horrible suburb that you get lost in that you've ever seen in your life. It's going to have twisty, curvy roads. They tend to go in random directions, and you think to yourself, how the hell do I get out of here? And there we go. And now all of this suburb is connected to one roadway that allow people to get in and out with reasonable ease. So we take this and we paint with either the fill tool, which will fill one block, the marquee tool, which blocks off a whole bunch, the small paint tool, which does one block at a time, or the big paint tool, my tool of choice. I said tool of choice. And then we fill this in like that. This is the easiest way that I've found for putting stuff in. And at the moment, we don't want to spend too much money on infrastructure. We will eventually put some stuff in, but right now, if we put too much in there, it's going to make our lives very unpleasant. So we'll run this line down here because we need electricity, and then we will take our water pipes and we will connect them to our fledgling little residential zone. Just like that. We'll bring this guy up as well and run this along the road to here. Actually, you know what? Let's run it up a little bit more, just so there's coverage. Okay, and so you'll already see people are moving in. Cool. Okay. So our next order of business is these people are living here and they have nothing to eat or nowhere to buy stuff. So let's give them a little somewhere to shop. I think off the main drag we will put down some storefronts. We won't give them too much because the demand right now is not huge. So we don't want to oversaturate the market and then nobody moves in, right? So we'll give a couple of little areas for them to buy product at. Like their s'mores and their tuna fish and Kenny G records or whatever it is that people buy. And yeah, there we go. So this is a good start. You can see we've got our, that is a messed up crosswalk. I don't think I've ever seen one like that, but who am I? Okay, so there's a good start. You see we've got some residential areas. There's a high demand for residential. Well, medium it says in the game, but there's actually a fairly high, that's pretty good. We will eventually pull this down, and what we'll do is, I think what we'll do is we'll continue this one way. We'll just keep it going down here. Except that's only a 2-lane, isn't it? Yeah. And that's not going to be sufficient traffic for the time being, I think. We'll, if we do this as a 6-lane though, that's going to create a nightmare intersection. well, no worse than anything else. We can always amend that later. So we're gonna just straighten this out a bit here. We're gonna bring this down, and this will no. This will serve if it ever actually works. It is not going to hit off of that stupid thing because it hates that 2-lane road. So, okay, so there's our first problem. Well, you know what? Let's make it more central then. And that'll avoid the intersection problem. We'll just come down here, straighten it out a bit. If I can actually draw a straight line. Maybe if I use the straight road tool, that might help. We'll come there. And then we'll just go, hey. There we go. Now we've got our basic spine, which will take people to and from the highway. And this, realistically, should serve as a fairly decent artery to provide traffic flow down and into the city. Eventually, we're going to want to cross across that riverway and hook up to that highway. And we may need to increase that depending on how many people we have moving in the city. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. No pun intended. Well, who am I kidding? Punfully intended. Okay. So, people are now looking for somewhere to work. So, seeing as how this has a pretty high traffic flow, it gets people moving nice and quick. We're going to go down here. Actually, you know what? No. Let's put it closer. I don't like having industry close to the houses, but I mean, you got to do what you got to do, right? People got to work. So we're gonna. Actually, you know what? No. Let's do that. We're gonna draw a 2-lane road. We're gonna call this River Road. River Road's gonna stretch down from here. And we're gonna put it. That is not cheap. So let's make it small to start with, and I want a freeform road. Thank you. Okay. And we'll go straight for this part because we're just doing a little industrial park. Nothing major. Okay. And we need some water to come up in here. And just barely enough to cover the area that we have here, and we're already starting to run out of money. So let's go ahead and fill these up with industrial, give people a place to work. And we will hopefully start to see some tax money coming in off these guys. We'll turn up the speed here. I think it was called cheetah mode or whatever in SimCity. We'll keep that turned up while these guys are moving into town here, and you can see we've already, holy crap, we have already vastly filled these areas, and yet still there's a high demand. For some reason, there's still areas left here that are not getting filled. Oh, and of course, we're not making enough money. We are going to go broke. Oh, God. Alright, well, let's have a look here. We should have kept this slow to start with. See, I think my issue that I had was building these 6-lane roads. I like to plan for the future a little bit, and unfortunately doing so sometimes is costly. So the infrastructure's in, but it's costing a fortune to support, and we're not making a lot of money in the process. Hopefully we'll get a level up bonus pretty quick. Every time you reach a certain milestone, like here, it shows you how far you have to go. You get a little bonus of cash and some extra stuff that you can do. And I'm really, really hoping that the bonus will come soon, because there's I'm making money, but not a lot, and I need to make money in order to continue to expand. Survive or die, right? Oh, look, everything here is almost full, which is good. I mean, there's people living here. Now everything is full. People are living here, but there's no room for other people to move in, which is kind of sucky. So we are... Oh, there we go. Now we're starting to make more money. This is good. This is better. Industry's doing all right here. Not enough workers, clearly. We need more people to work down here. I'll get right on that, guys. I do apologize. And as soon as we get some more cash rolling in, we are going to create a new little neighborhood to go with this, because, yeah, I mean, people just can't be expected to develop a whole town off of this little tiny neighborhood right here. I mean, it's a nice neighborhood, don't get me wrong, but I mean, there just isn't enough here. You can't build widgets or grommets or whatever it is they build in Springfield here off of, I don't know, 362 people. I mean, that's asking too much of these people. So I mean, somebody's got to run the stores, right? Oh, there we go. Already making money. Yay! Happy day. Okay, so now we can afford to actually make some more places. So we're going to go back to our road tool and our freeform road, because that is the way to make the most awesome roads. And we'll pull this guy down here as well. We'll start him out. Already we're running short on cash. Luckily, the money is coming in fairly quickly. So what we'll do is we'll bring that up to there, and then we'll close it off here. Once we get 320, we'll walk that bad boy down. Okay, and let's put in some more residential zones, because they are dying for people at the factories. Oh, no, no, no. That was a bad plan. Bad plan. Go away. Go away. D-zone. D-zone. Okay. Again, pay attention when you're doing this game, otherwise you're going to have a bad time. So we're going to rezone this stuff in residential. We're going to leave those guys for some commercial, because this is going to be our shopping district right off the front, because we want all of these outlet stores by the highway to be luring people into town, where they'll spend their money on our infrastructure. They'll buy our Gap shirts and Taco Bell tacos, and they will pay big money, and hopefully we will be able to afford to buy stuff like water and healthcare and whatever. Oh, there you go. Congratulations. Yay! Oh, that's pretty. Population of 460, and I can afford taxes now, and I can do loans, and I can put in a school and a medical clinic and garbage, because I mean, that's the important thing. Oh my god, are you telling me they've been leaving the garbage in the streets up till now? That's just gross. That's how you get ants, for God's sake. Does anyone watch Archer? Okay. Let's bring that in here. Get some water going in. And we got some extra cash. So, these people are doing all right. Our residential demand is fairly decent. Is it decreasing though? I can't really tell. Let's turn up the speed. Yep, residential and industrial is going up slightly. So let's build a little expansion to the industrial park here. We already had some stuff going on. We will take our road tool. We're going to expand this just a little bit here. We're going to make this a straight road tool, because that will make things a little bit easier for me. And then we'll take this and we'll expand it through and connect it. And then we can take our water tool and again just expand it down here a little bit. And we can zone these as industrial. And everybody's happy. We got more room for business to grow. And already it's starting to grow. That's fantastic. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is capitalism at its finest. And they're already complaining, well, garbage is getting to be too much of a problem. So since we're down here, we have the money. Let's get it done. We have to put a road in. Of course we do, right? Because I told you that like first thing when we started. Everything has to be next to a road. So let's do that. So we'll put in our garbage dump right there. I don't think it needs water. It's never needed water before from what I've seen. So now people will be able to not worry about garbage trucks or garbage piling up in their house. And there we go. Here's a little flotilla of garbage trucks all heading out to... is that the right word? Flotilla? Armada? I don't know. Anyways, our army of garbage trucks are going out to pick up all the refuse and feed the seagulls, because the seagulls need that kind of stuff. And already power. Oh, the problems. This is ridiculous. Okay, let's check. We are overusing by 2 megawatts. So we are going to go to our power panel. We're going to create yet another wind turbine, and we're going to put it next to the old one, because we may as well. Why not, right? Make sure it's going to fit there. It's within the blue area, so it's automatically connected, and that should double our power capacity, and it did. There we go. Life's good. We are okay for the time being. We have a look here. All of our houses are doing all right. High demand for residential. So we're going to slow this down a bit, and we're going to put in yet another little tiny suburb. We're going to do that. Same thing, and let's go to the, what I like to call the Free Spirit Road. We're going to twist this bad boy around. It's going to look like a bladder or something, I don't know. There we go. That is badass right there. I'm telling you. If I lived there, I'd be like, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Right up in there. Okay, so we're going to get rid of that bad boy, and we are going to go back here, and we're going to fill all these in. We're going to give some more residential zoning, just like this. More places for people to live. And fill that in, just like so. Pretty little squares. There are no mistakes, as Bob Ross would say. I need some water in here, so we're gonna fill that in. Connect it back up to the main pipe. Draw a quickie in there, and boom. If we turn this up, we should see our demand drop. Yep, and then residential is dropping. We did have a brief spike in commercial demand, so let's have a quick peek and see where we're at. Yeah, they're full up. So what we'll do is we'll put in, I'll put some corner stores in here, right? Give these guys, so they don't have to travel so far, they can go to the 7-Eleven or the Quickie Mart. I know I said it wasn't that Springfield, but you know, whatever. They can go to the Quickie Mart, get themselves a slushie, and that'll hold them till they can go shopping down in the main district for dinner, right? So there we go. That's cool. Turn that back up. Seems to be doing the job. And again, residential is crawling. Commercial is going up slightly and down again. Industry is climbing back up. I think what we can do, since we're here now, we're at that point, let's go ahead, and since we have the money, let's create a school. We're going to give our first elementary school. So Springfield Elementary. Mrs. Krabappel, come on in and get to work. And you'll see that turn everyone very happy with their education. I am so smart, SMRT. Oh wow, holy crap. So apparently we have a lot of people who are eligible for these things, and I don't have the access to the high school yet, but we will eventually. Good lord, my people are stupid. Well, we'll get that fixed. Okay, So we'll just turn up the speed a bit and we'll see how this impacts everything, if at all. It should impact things to some degree. Like, really? Are you people still going to be dumb? Is nobody going to go to school? Okay, whatever. I tried to educate you people, and look what happens. Alright, so, wow, spike in commercial demand. Okay, well, whatever floats your boat, we'll go ahead and do that. We will go to commercial, and I guess let's fill in the spot here. We may as well, and let's fill in up here as well. See how quickly that goes. If that goes pretty quick, I will be genuinely surprised. Speaking of which, let's have a look at our shops. What do we got? We got like a burger place, a coffee place. My god, these people love their burgers. A bowling alley. I don't even know what that is. An energy drink at Sally's. What is this? A Sunny Grain? What, they sell like quinoa or something? Oh, this is cool. What's this? The color store. Oh, my color store. I guess it's like paints or something? Oh, look at that at Worthy Village. I have 950 people. So now I can purchase a new area. I have districts, policies. This is going to be cool. You'll see why in a bit. Service policies. There we go. Fire, police, unique buildings, forestry, power, water, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Now, I'm going to do this based on personal experience. It has sucked forgetting to do this in the past. I have the money. We are going to immediately put down a fire department. Because if we do not put down the fire department, I guarantee you something will burn to the ground and I will regret it later. And we're also going to put down the cop shop because we got the money. And let's do it. So now we have basic law enforcement, primary education, a fire department. Do we have a clinic yet? I can't remember. No, we didn't buy a clinic. That's our next thing, I think. Did I buy a clinic? I can't remember. Hospital? Clinic? Is that the clinic? Medical clinic. No, I don't think we have one. Let's check. Fire department? Yes. Police department? Yes. Medical clinic? No. Okay. That is our next priority. When we get the money, our next bonus level, we have to put in a hospital. On that note, we're just going to call it for this episode. Springfield has some growing to do, and I look forward to seeing you next time. This is Rob, and if you have any questions or comments, go ahead and shove them down there in the comment box, and let me know what you think and how you think Springfield should develop. Oh god, more power. Apparently we have to put in a windmill first, so we'll see you guys next time.